Are you ready to go to work?
Where are we going?
On a liquor rig. We need another man.
And that's very interesting. I found a financial disbursement pattern here which shows some irregular...
You carry a badge?
Yes?
Carry a gun.
Kevin Costner as Treasury Agent Elliot Ness and Chicago cop Sean Connery recruit two more crime busters to get Al Capone in The Untouchables, the classic crime story, now a major motion picture.
The Untouchable was inspired, of course, by the old TV show, but a real effort has been made to turn this material into an ambitious gangster film. There's a big budget, a lot of impressive locations, an authentic look of the 1930s, and a script by the distinguished playwright David Mamet. So it's too bad that the result is a disappointment, a respectable film that lacks the fire, the passion, and even the humor we might expect from this material. The movie stars Robert De Niro as Al Capone in a performance that does not have the usual De Niro energy. This is a very routine Capone.
Somebody messes with me, I'm gonna mess with him. Somebody steals from me, I'm gonna say you stole, not talk to him for spitting on a sidewalk.
Kevin Costner is Elliot Ness, the man who vows to bust up Capone's mob, and Sean Connery is the honest Chicago cop who can help him do it. Together they form a strike force known as the Untouchables, federal agents at war with Capone. But first, Connery has to make sure that Ness is tough enough.
If you open the ball on these people, Mr. Ness, you must be prepared to go all the way. Because they won't give up the fight until one of you is dead.
I want to get Capone. I don't know how to get him.
Want to get Capone? Here's how you get him. He pulls a knife, you pull a gun. He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue. That's the Chicago way. And that's how you get Capone.
That's a good scene, but most of the movie never really gives us a sense of the human qualities of these characters, and it ends up with the usual gangland movie gunfight. You can see in all of those scenes that this is a great-looking movie, and a lot of effort went into it, but it has nothing new or especially interesting to say about Capone, Elliot Ness, or the whole Prohibition period. It's a curiously lifeless film. It's almost as if it were framed and put on the wall, a film in which everything looks okay, but we don't really feel very much, and that's strange because the director, Brian De Palma, usually does a much better job of shaking me up. The Untouchables, for me, was a disappointment.
And not for me at all. And I'm surprised because you say it has nothing new to say about Ness. Well, first of all, it's completely different from the Ness that we know from Robert Stack, who was a stern, tough guy. This is a young, innocent Ness who has to go through these rites of passage with his tutor, basically Sean Connery, in a sensational role. And I'm so glad to see him get that kind of a part to prove that he's such a good actor. In teaching this kid the ropes of how you have to sometimes break the law to get a bad guy. And that's the real moral dilemma of the film, which I find exciting, which gets into issues of capital punishment and what you have to do to get bad guys, which is a subject that's even current today.
Well, I agree with you about Sean Connery, and I like his performance a whole lot. I thought the Elliot Ness character was extremely pale.
He's supposed to be in the beginning.
Well, but also in addition to that, it seemed to me that he was very passive. It seemed to me that he didn't really engage, that the lines were written in such a way as to make him seem so lifeless that we didn't really care. As he sat there as this prim, straight arrow coming up with those kind of self-justifying lines.
I thought he's intentionally sweet at the beginning, and then he gets tougher and tougher and starts to hate himself. And as a routine shootout at the end, I thought the shootout at the end of this film, even though it is derivative from some classic movies, is fabulous.
It ripped off Battleship Potemkin. But what did you think about Robert De Niro? Weren't you disappointed?
I get nowhere unless the team wins.
Team.
His role seemed to be just in a different unit than the rest of the movie. It was like they cleared the screen, De Niro came on, and then he did his thing, and then he's gone again. He didn't interact really with the rest of the film.
This movie isn't about Capone, and I'm glad it isn't about Capone. It's about Ness and this new cop, Jimmy Malone, and I thought that was exciting. So you agree with me about De Niro? You were disappointed too? No, I just didn't think it was important. I think he did a little. It was a small role, and he did it. Nothing special.
Well, that doesn't sound like what we expect from De Niro.
Yeah, but I think the movie is sensational.
Okay.